Today, I wanted to apologize to all the viewers that I've offended with the way that I pronounce mana, and let you know that I'm committed to improving your viewing experience. Before I get into what I'll be doing differently, I wanted to share my perspective with you so that you know why I pronounce it the way that I have been. So, why do I pronounce it that way? No reason, really? This is the way I and most everyone around me has always pronounced it. The word was not new to me in Hearthstone or in gaming, and until I started streaming, I never even thought anything of it. Sometimes I'd run into someone at a magic event or something that would pronounce it the way that you might expect, and it hits the ear weird, but people mispronounce niche words all the time, and I'd never corrected anyone or even cared. Then I started streaming, and as my channel grew more and more, people would ask me, why do you pronounce mana the way you do? Or type in chat how they think I should pronounce it. After a couple years of that, I started to wonder, am I in the minority? So I did a Twitter post earlier this year to see what everyone thought, and sure enough, while there were a few people on Team Martian, an overwhelming amount of people pronounce it differently than I do. I was surprised to see this, and figured I must be wrong, so I looked it up. If you look at how the word is written phonetically, you see two little dots over the first A, which in English phonetics signifies that you pronounce the A, ah. And if you click this button here,
mana.
So why do Hearthstone players pronounce it the way that they do? I'm not sure. It could be that the voice lines have that pronunciation.
Just you wait until I get some more mana.
Or maybe they've only ever heard their favorite streamer even say the word before, which wouldn't be surprising considering it's not really relevant in day-to-day life. But I don't know. I pointed out my findings after the poll, and unsurprisingly, no one cared. As I started to invest more time in YouTube, viewer dissatisfaction continued in the comments, culminating in this beauty. I like your vids, but can't watch with how often you say mana. I'm sure I'm not the only one. And there it is. The way I'm pronouncing it, the way that it's meant to be pronounced, it doesn't really matter, does it? All that matters is you. In the business of content creation, the viewer is the customer, and the customer is always right. I could be stubborn and stick to what I've been doing, or defensively point out, well, actually, you're the one pronouncing it wrong. But I'm not here to be right. I'm here to be entertaining. No one likes to hear they're wrong, and new viewers who would potentially be put off by my unusual pronunciations aren't going to watch my video explaining why I pronounce it the way I do. They're just going to close the video. I'm adaptable, and I do want you to be a happy Martian viewer. So, in appreciation for your valued viewership, I am committing to changing the way I pronounce the word from mana to mene. So I'll play Death Chiller, and then I'll activate my Horn of the Winter to refresh 2 mene crystals, dealing damage and allowing me to spend some more mene on this Frost Strike. The mene Thirst ability allows Astalor Bloodsworn to also deal 2 damage, in addition to the battle cry that adds the other Astalor to my hand. So I'm going to use my mene Burn to give my opponent 2 fewer mene crystals next turn. But I'm not going to use Fury until turn 5 when I have 5 mene crystals, which will upgrade its damage. A guide to building Wild Druid. You always want to start off with Wildheart Guff, who will set your maximum mene to 20. You can get to him faster by playing Biology Project, which gains you 2 mene crystals, at the cost of giving your opponent 2 mene crystals. Widowbloom Seedsman allows you to draw a nature spell, while also gaining an empty mene crystal. And if you're playing dragons, for half the mene, you can draw a card and gain an empty mene crystal as long as you're holding a dragon. If you can manage to draw Twig of the World Tree and Sphere of Sapience together, activating your Twig of the World Tree will immediately gain you 10 mene crystals and accelerate you beyond the maximum 10 mene if you've already played Wildheart Guff. And finally, you always want to include Floop's Glorious Gloop. That way, you can use your many board clearing spells to gain temporary mene for each minion that dies.
Just you wait until I have 10 mana.
No Millhouse Mene Storm. We're pronouncing it Mene now. Mene, 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 Mene.